For many offshore solo sailors, especially here in France, the overall goal is to take part in the Vendée Globe. A popular route to this is to start with mini transat boats, then move into the fiercely competitive Figaro class. From there, Class 40s often is the next stage for quite a few, before finally graduating into the 60-foot IMOCA. But not everyone does it this way. The skipper of 11th Hour Racing, Francesca Clapcich, has taken a very different approach and is about to make her first solo offshore race in an IMOCA, and that is a big deal. Frankie, good to see you.
Yes.
And interesting to see you back on a boat you know very well, don't you? You've done quite a few miles on this boat.
I actually did, yeah, you're right. I mean, the colors are a bit different, but everything else, you know, it's quite familiar.
Yeah.
I've been racing most of last year on board Team Malizia, and we've done the Course du Cap, lots of trainings, the Ocean Race Europe. Then we've done the Transat Cafe d'Or at the end of the season with the colors of my own team. And yeah, the machine is the same machine. We did a few optimization in the winter, but it's really nice to get even on the pit and know exactly where to put your hands without even have to look at it. So that's pretty special.
So you've done some work on the boat. Have you changed an awful lot on it? Or?
We did a few changes. It's been a really, I would say, challenging winter for the technical team because we didn't stay in the shed for a really long time. You know, other teams are just putting the boat back in the water or are still in the shed, and we try to really maximize the time on the water, but we try to move the center of gravity of the boat as much forward as you could, and trying to get the boat lighter. Or it's always hard with a boat that is not brand new to get weight off. But the boat normally had quite of a really bow up behavior. So of course, when you're in big waves going downwind, that's great, but upwind or reaching was definitely the weak point of this design.
Right.
So we did some adjustment, we moved some systems forward, and of course, as you could see, it was a massive work on the branding too.
Yeah.
So that took a long time.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the coach roof, which is very, very distinctive, you wouldn't recognise the boat at all, would you? It's this that gives it away.
I know, and it's quite of a big eye effect too, right? Going from, the branding identity that Malizia has, that is really black and dark, and going to our identity that is way more bright and colorful, and there's a lot of white actually on the boat. So it does catch the eye quite differently.
Yeah. Now you knew that this was last year when you were racing the boat in the Europe race. You knew that this was going to happen, didn't you? That was already planned. So,
yeah.
So you had that in mind at the time.
Yeah, and it was a bit also the goal of the collaboration, right, that we had with Team Malizia, and I was like, it would be great to, of course, racing, but racing on the boat that then will stay with me, and racing with all the sailors and people that know the boat really, really well. They've been involved in the project for the last few years, since the build of the boat. It was one of the biggest, reason to go and sail with Will as much as I could and do the transat together. So having really a good transition and a, turn around on the boat, and so far it's been great. If this collaboration is keep going, Will is going to sail with me during the Ocean Race Atlantic this summer, and then he's going to sail on Team Malizia for the Ocean Race, and so it's just a really good collaboration between the two teams.
It does sound really cool, actually.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really good way of integrating and moving on to the next stage, because ultimately this will be the race you're about to start now, the 1,000 race. This will be your first race in the IMOCA solo, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And,
is that quite daunting?
A little bit.
Is
At
it?
the same time, it's also exciting.
Even on a boat that you know really well?
It's different. To know the boat is amazing, but, it's different to be doing tons of miles with other people on board, even double-handed. There's always that kind of think in your brain, okay, even if I'm on watch on my own, there's still a person on the boat, and it's two of us. There's always someone awake. There's always someone pushing the boat or checking things. all that when you're by your own, it's all on your shoulders. So
Yeah.
even if you know the boat well, it's the dynamic change completely.
Yeah, I suppose the other thing is that you know what it's like when it goes wrong as well.
Yes.
Whereas if you hadn't done it, you could
Yes.
be blissfully ignorant of just how
Right.
hard that's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes too much knowledge is counterproductive, I guess, sometimes.
Yeah, and at the same time, like, the entire technical team knows the boat really, really well. So even if you're on your own at the boat, you can, have a lot of feedback from them about how to fix things or solutions to problem and issues that arise when you're sailing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to dwell on the negatives too
No,
much
no,
before
no.
you head off on a
It's okay,
1,000-mile
I'm
race.
really, really like a realistic,
But I
pragmatic
just wonder
person.
what does wake you up at night thinking, God, no, I don't, or what do you find particularly difficult or daunting about the prospects of solo sailing?
I mean, I think like there's, always the thought about, I have a young daughter at home and I have people that I love that I want to go back every time, and teammates and co-workers. Like, I think that's something that I believe we all think as a skippers when we are going on our own. Maybe not so many people are gonna say it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind, For me, it's a big motivation to try to stay safe, stay on the boat, attached to it, because I have really, really cool and amazing things to go back to. This is not. It's a big part of my life, but it's not my only life, and I think that's the biggest one. And everything else, of course, it's just sailing, right?
Yeah.
So it's enjoying it. It's the passion that I have for the sport, and things can happen. You can break stuff, or you can hit things in the water, unfortunately, or there are so many factors. But at the end, it's part of the game, and we all play that game.
Yeah, I mean, setting aside those kind of accidents, things that you can't really control, hitting things in the water, breakages, stuff like that. What do you find hardest from a point of view of the handling of the boat?
I mean, I think one of the hardest part of this kind of sailing is how you manage yourself to give you really the biggest chance to push the boat, Like, you can sail the boat at 50% and you can probably have, some good rest, some good sleep, some good time. But the performance will not be ideal. If you really want to try to get a good performance, then you need to compromise on other things. But it's hard to find the limit. Like, if you don't sleep, then the performance will be bad too. So it's really finding the balance of, like, when is the good moment to, get a 20-minute nap, when is the good moment to be awake, when is a good moment to push the boat really well, and when you need to, like, pull the handbrake a little bit. I think really learning that process and learning that is probably one of the biggest thing, and probably what also sets you up for success in a few years in Vendée Globe.
Yeah. You do hear quite a lot of the skippers talk about having either mental coaches or sleep coaches. I mean, Charles Quadrelli, I was talking to him earlier on this year, and obviously he's on an old team at the moment, but I mean the principle's still the same. He's still talking about solo sailing, and he was saying he's working even harder than ever to learn how to sleep better and to sleep quicker and to fall asleep quicker and get better sleep and those kind of things. And he talks about it like it's a tactical advantage, and I guess it is
100%.
because it's what you've just said.
I mean, it's the same in life, right? I mean, I don't know. I'm a mom, and I remember, with a newborn, like, when you don't sleep, you just wake up and every time in the night and stuff. I mean, you're not functioning really well. Your decision making is definitely different. You're not as quick, you're not as proactive, and there is a lot in there. That's why we sleep every night for 8 hours or more. It's when our brain recharges, when our cells rebuild. It's just physiological. So that's a really big part in what we're doing, is to be able to, like, manage a boat like this. That if you don't manage well, you can make also pretty big damages, or you can have pretty big accidents. And at the same time, you need to be awake more than normal. So I agree with him. That's a big part of it. I have, like, personal trainers and mental coach and physios, and because I do believe that the human side of it is as important as the technical side of it. And I come from a background where in most of my career it was a lot about like being a human being, right? Olympic classes, going to the Olympics is about you as a person. You spend equal time in the gym or taking care of yourself than sailing. And I feel the more you go into offshore, that part kind of get pushed far because there is so much to do.
Right. Yeah.
Design, and I want new foils, and I want this and that, but then at the end it's us still.
Yeah. So that's helped
sailing.
you having that. You draw 100%. Quite a lot on the Olympic discipline.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think the discipline and being like, I need to take a certain step to make sure that I'm ready for it, or I think that's super important, that the physical preparation, being strong and fit enough so you don't get injured and, you can do things more efficiently. It's really a big part of it.
Okay, well, a very simple question. Why? Why do it?
Why?
Why take on the solo challenge? What's the big appeal for you?
I love the challenge. I got the question really often about the Vendée Globe. I say, it's always been your dream to do the Vendée Globe? I'm like, no. I'm really honest about it. It's never been my dream. I grew up in a small town in Italy, and no one ever talked about the Vendée Globe. It's just something that was so far away. My dream has always been to go to the Olympics, represent my country at the Olympics, try to win a medal. That's what I grew up with. Since I was, 5 years old, I wanted to just go to the Olympics. But then I grew up and I found new challenges. It's a big sport that allows you to do so many different things with the knowledge that you learn from the previous ones. And it was kind of, I did the ocean race, and I do enjoy offshore racing, of course, a lot. But it was always in crew, and at one point I was like, that can be really cool. Like, why not trying, to go for this big challenge and challenge myself first, to be able to do it, to be good at it. And so I see it as a professional and personal challenge more than anything.
Right. Of course, one of the things you will also have seen, we were asking Ollie here about it today actually, is that it does seem like once you've done a Vendée Globe, you want to do another one. That is coming your way,
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're big projects, right? So, of course, I think it's not, even as a business, if you see it as a business, it's probably not the smartest thing to do, to wait until you finish your race, to think about what your future will be. If you want to secure sponsorship, if you want to secure funding, if you want to build a new boat and move forward in the technical side of it, you probably need to have already an idea in your mind that is something that you might want to do again. So personally, I'm definitely giving myself this year of grace.
Yeah.
I want to, start now with the 1000 race, and there will be the Vendée Arctique and the Route du Rhum. It's a big year where I can really test myself, and I can actually really realize if I like it or not.
I was only really teasing. But it is interesting to see how many people do get drawn back into it.
I think it's really natural. I remember still my first ocean race in 17, 18. Getting into Itajaí after the Southern Ocean, I was like, never again. This is miserable. Why are we doing this? After a couple of caipirinhas on the beach and a week of rest, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
It was not that bad, I can do this again. And
I guess there are bits you miss of it as well, aren't there?
You miss it. You miss the adrenaline. You miss the community.
Yeah.
Like the people that I work with. Yes, sure, we are co-workers, but they are my people. I come to work and I'm happy to come to work every day. And you just miss the entire thing. You miss the adrenaline the day before the start. You miss the performance of the boat, trying to push it and push yourself. It's something that the sport gives you, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've just forgotten what I was going to ask. It was a good question as well. I promise it was a good question. I know what it was. So this season, it's an interesting season for you because you start off with this race as a solo race. You're doing the Ocean Race Atlantic, fully crewed. Then it's the Route du Rhum, back to solo sailing.
Yeah.
It sort of seems to fit with the way that you've got into this anyway, with sort of a mixture of fully crewed and shorthand and the rest of it.
Yeah.
But did you specifically look at that? Was that part of your plan to make sure that this season had some races that had a mixture of those, or was it just the way it fell and those are the races that were on the table?
I think it's a mix of both. For sure the race kind of fell into place, and it's a good way to, I think, also keep getting better, on the boat. It will be really interesting for me to go from the beginning of the season that is really solo focused and, quite big races too, like the Vendée Arctic can be even longer than the Route de Rome.
I forgot that one, yes.
And then get back into the crew racing and be like, oh, okay, like now that it's almost the pressure is slightly off because you are with people around, you can do maneuver together. Okay, how can I do things differently? Everybody bring their own experiences. That's what I really love of crew sailing. Even someone that doesn't have experience on an IMOCA can really bring something from different sailing that can actually work. And you put everything in practice and you realize that you can find a way to do things differently, but it ended up being better. And then trying to transfer that again into the end of the season in the Route de Rome and see if it works when you're on your own. And I see it as a ongoing learning process. That's the best part, I think, of this project, this sport, if you take it in that way, is how you keep learning from everybody. You just need to really be open about trying new things and keep your mind open and, don't get stuck in things that, just because you work like that.
I think this class it's a great time for this class as well, isn't it? I mean, I've followed the IMOCA Open 60s, as they were called before, for a long time, and seen the evolution of the class. And apart from the technology, which is fascinating, but one of the things that seems great about it is that there is this diversity now, where you can sail fully crewed, you can sail short-handed, and as you say, you can learn, and the learning curve is accelerating, and also the knowledge is being shared more evenly, and that's benefiting everybody, isn't it?
For sure. No, it's exciting, and of course we bought a used boat, so we come with a setup that has been already used and tested, and we're quite confident in it. But it's amazing to see the evolutions and new boats coming out of the sheds with really interesting ideas and new foils, new shapes. It's just an ongoing process. It's something that maybe years ago was only available, in the America's Cup. Now that, kind of push for evolution is happening in the offshore scene with the old teams, not only in the IMOCA class. And it's really, really exciting time to be alive and witness it.
One of the other things I wanted to ask you about is that, just following on from what we're saying about the fleet, there's such a huge spread now between the boats, the latest boats right at the top, with lots of advanced technology, and the performance gap is getting bigger and bigger. And then you've got the privateers at the other end coming in with very old boats, but finding their place where they want to be. But a massive spread, and it seems to be getting wider and wider in terms of performance. From your point of view, and setting goals for what you want to achieve out of it, does that make it harder, or does it make it easier? Does it make it easier? Perhaps you can pick your place and set your own goals, or is it harder because you know that the front runners are going to be so far in front?
I think the gap is just getting bigger, right? From the dagger boards to the new foilers. And a few years ago, we remember Jean Lecomte and other sailors being able to really, really be in the front with boats that on the paper were considered either old or not up for the task. It's changing. I think it was really, especially the new generation boats are just having performance in pretty much all the conditions that a dagger board or an older design cannot really match. And I think the gap will just get bigger, I think my boat is on the edge. You can already feel like the new design and some new foils are it works pretty well. But we also show that the performance is still there, especially if the conditions are really good for this design. So
that's true.
I don't know if it helps or not. Definitely projects are becoming more expensive. You need more funding if you want to be on the top of the leaderboard. I don't know if it's easier or harder to kind of just pick your spot and be happy with it, because at the end, we are racers, we're competitors, you always think, okay, I can be between, 5 and 10 and be happy with it, but if you can be on the podium, it's better. So it's hard to just kind of give up on that, because you feel that you don't have the boat up for for the job. But I think especially for teams that don't have big sponsors or a lot of support, it's becoming extremely challenging to even be able to have a project, right? Because there is not that much of a space anymore for just not the top tier. So I don't know. We will see.
Yeah. Where have you set your goals then?
Especially for this year, I have more performance goals than results. You know, I always been like that since I was doing like Olympic classes. You know, normally the result take care of itself when a lot of other things before that get ticked off properly. So it's about how you start the race. It's about making the right decision, like strategically. It's about having the right sails at the right moment, avoiding mistakes, and you kind of adds up all this like smaller performance goal, and at the end, I mean, the result is a number, right? So it's hard to just set up a number because it's so irrelevant sometimes.
But I suppose the thing is, you do come at it from a different point of view from some others in that you've got such a broad range of experience, haven't you? I mean, you've done the ocean race fully crewed, so you've been around a couple of times already anyway. You were telling me earlier on that you did a Figaro circuit as well, so you got that as well. I mean, you've got a very broad range, and the Olympic discipline and everything else. And
the cup with the women's team on the AC4 and stuff. Again, I love the sport. I love competing, and I love being part of teams and projects, and kind of just like going every day at work and with the motivation of learning something new. And so I've been really, really lucky and privileged to be part of so many different things and try to put everything together, you know. And every day, even on this boat, I try, to think about solutions. I was like, this is something that I did on, I don't know, with a cup. It might work or not. We're completely different boats, completely different teams, but maybe, why not? And I think that background is really something special to hold on it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we wish you all the very best. We'll be watching.
Thanks.
Watching closely, but no, good luck. I think you're in a great place for it. You've got a fantastic boat for it.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's a great boat. It's a great sponsor with 11 Hour Racing. It's a great team. I think overall, really, it's a really exciting project to be part of, and for me, it's really a honor and pretty special to be leading it.
Yeah, no, I love the way it's all been pulled together. I think it's a great. I was going to say template. It's not a template at all. A great approach is what I mean. A great approach, and very interesting to hear. So thanks very much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Have a great race.
Yes.
And we'll speak to you later in the season, I'm sure.
Anytime.
Nice one.